Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
Swing and a tip into the glove of Rortvedt. Driven out to left field and deep. De La Cruz turns, looks, see ya! Another home run for the rookie.
Again, Anthony Volpe with another big home run.
No load management. That one is loaded. Deep to right field. Rortvedt crushes it. Ground ball, past it, diving. Bowers, and that'll go into the right field corner.
It is Sunday, August 13th, and the Yankees were finishing off a 3-game series in Miami. Anthony Volpe, Ben Rortvedt swinging the bat, Gerrit Cole dealing on the mound. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Sorry about that upbeat intro, guys. I recorded that when the Yankees were up 7-3. I didn't have time to re-record it to sound more suicidal. This game imploded faster than an Ocean Gate sub. Unbelievable. And if you think that's bad, wait until we see the Braves this week. That's about as devastating a loss as it gets. We shouldn't be surprised, though. This team has lost devastating games all season long. Clay Holmes with an absolutely disastrous ninth inning, blowing a 4-run lead. And the body language on the Yankees was about as bad as I've ever seen it. Everyone on that field, everyone in that dugout knows they are done. Today is the 7th anniversary of when Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge in their first at-bats hit home runs, back-to-back home runs. So at least we have that great memory to think of. And it's weird how, two careers can diverge in two completely different directions, after first at-bat home runs. It's not really a predictor of anything, obviously, one at bat, but Judge, MVP, captain, $360 million contract. Tyler Austin had a career WAR of 1 and hasn't played in the majors since 2019. Today was the 100th start of Gerrit Cole's Yankees career, and I thought he pitched pretty well. I mean, the stuff was not as great, the command was not as great, but he grinded it out. This was the type of game that Roger Clemens used to say he was most proud of pitching, like when you don't have your best stuff. Max Scherzer the other day on Foul Territory said the same thing. Days where you don't have your best stuff and you manage to get through and turn in a quality performance. Today, obviously not on Gerrit Cole. You think back on his Yankees career, and I see somebody commenting on whether or not he'll opt out. Since he joined the Yankees, led the American League in wins, did not get one today, deserved one today. He's led in innings pitched, strikeout percentage. He's 5th in ERA. Got a 2.76 ERA this season. He's had some good playoff starts. He's had some duds. But overall, I think he's lived up to his end of the contract. Would not shock me if he opts out. Today was a grind, but he still turned in another quality start. 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. And like we said, does not get a win thanks to Clay Holmes' implosion. He'd probably have 20 wins this year if the Yankees had any kind of decent offense and a real closer. Yankees offense was actually not horrible today. I mean, they only got 6 hits, but they scored 7 runs. Eury Perez, pitcher for the Marlins, one of the most exciting pitchers in baseball. He's probably the closest thing we've seen in terms of like body type, all arms and legs, height, and stuff to Randy Johnson. And he throws strikes like Randy did. Randy early on in his career didn't throw strikes. Late in his career he did. But outstanding job by Perez. I'll be absolutely shocked if he doesn't win a Cy Young before it's all over. He's got some of the best late movement you'll see. So you talk about 99 miles an hour late movement. Nice combo to have. Yankees actually manufactured first run of the game. Bader walked, stole second, and then scored on a single by IKF. IKF's been swinging the bat pretty well lately. He was 1 for 4 with a ribby today, hitting .253, .687 OPS, and doing the job in the field, especially at third base. So got to give him some credit. It'd be interesting to see whether or not they re-sign Bader. I assume they will because they didn't trade him at the deadline. But their top two prospects are center fielders. Spencer Jones is the new number 1, and Jason Dominguez is in at number 2. He's had a good summer the last couple of months. Everson Pereira, I believe, is number 3. He's also an outfielder, mostly left field and right field. So we'll see whether they ink Bader long-term or go full youth movement. If they just let him walk, then it's another bad baseball decision, bad business decision, bad roster construction decision by Brian Cashman, because you could have moved him at the deadline. You absolutely could have moved him. Yankees foolishly thought they could remain in this playoff hunt. They're not making the playoffs, folks. If you think the Yankees are making the playoffs, I've got some land by the beach I'd like to sell you. Yankees got their second run in the top of the third. Judge walked, and then Giancarlo Stanton accidentally made contact with a slider. He got a RBI double into the left field corner. Judge scored from first base. Seemed like he was running pretty well. Yankees got 2 more runs in the 4th inning, courtesy of Anthony Volpe. I had him all set up to be the belt winner, but it's just like those 2004 Yankees American League Championship t-shirts. Never going to see the light of day. Bullet line drive over the left center field wall. 16th home run of the year. Lone in pitch. Dropped the barrel of the bat on it. Look, he's got 9 home runs with men on base, more than any other Yankee. Probably because Aaron Judge missed 2 months, but still, that's, he's picked up some big hits. No question that he's turning it around. Both home runs in this series have come against very good pitchers. And quite frankly, 2 pitchers that would have dominated him a couple of months ago. They would have completely dominated Volpe back in May. So since he's closed his stance after the chicken parm meal, he swung the bat a lot better. Batting average may not be what you want, but he's getting more and more comfortable every day. Next year, I think he's going to break it out. You look at the power and the speed. It reminds me a little bit of Bobby Witt Jr. last year. Now, Witt hit for a little bit of a higher average, but he was a 20 home run, 30 stolen base guy. Volpe's got a chance to do that this year. I don't think he's quite going to get to 30 steals, maybe, but probably get to 20. Not bad for a 22-year-old. And if you look at the rate that Witt has improved this year, he's hitting about 20 points higher. I think he's already passed his home run and RBI and stolen base totals from last year. If you project that Volpe increases, his ability at the same rate, you're talking about a damn good player next year. So, engrave it. He's going to have a much better season next year. Numbers will be much better. Gleyber Torres stole second and third base on consecutive pitches in the top of the 5th. Ended up being a big run. He scored on a wild pitch. Ben Rortvedt hit his first home run with the Yankees today. Absolute nuke to right field. When he hits them, they absolutely stay hit. They stay. You go back and look at some of the home runs he hit in his brief stint with the Twins and some of the ones he's hit in the minor leagues. He's got a lot of power, especially opposite field power. He's a strong guy. You teach him to pull the ball, and Paul O'Neill thinks he's going to be a good hitter. And you guys know, if you follow this show, that I trust what Paul O'Neill thinks about hitting. Literally wrote a book about it. I've been working on the Yankees 2024 blueprint video. I start working on my postseason stuff right around now. And this year I've got to be a little quicker because the Yankees are going to be eliminated before the season is actually over. So I got to have the postmortem ready to go. And I've been thinking about, how we can inject more left-handed bats into this lineup next year. And I think one of the easiest solutions is, Rortvedt as your backup catcher and Austin Wells as your starting catcher next year. Get a little bit younger. And then you got, no matter who's catching, a left-handed bat in there every day. Love Higgy, but we need more lefties taking at bats next year, and that's one way to do it. Yankees bullpen wasn't bad until you got to Clay Holmes. Peralta gave up a run. Middleton got a couple of outs, showed some good stuff. But then Clay Holmes imploded, got 1 out, gave up 3 hits and a walk, and just imploded like a Titan sub, as we mentioned. Bloop, and completely blew the game. Tommy Kahnle came in and served up the losing run. And the Yankees lose 2 out of 3 to the Marlins.
I'm a loser. Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Stefan says, do you think we should get rid of Clay Holmes in the offseason? I think there's a lot of teams that would like Clay Holmes. He doesn't strike me as somebody that's going to have the mental fortitude to dominate in a postseason, series. You got to have a lockdown mentality. You got to have ice cold, ice water in your veins if you're going to be a closer. And Holmes doesn't have that. I've said that since last year. When he loses the strike zone, which happens too often, you can beat him because he can't put it back together. Jim Sherlock says, sports can stress you out. You got that right, my friend. As Oppenheimer said, these things can be hard on your heart. Eric Wall says, I'm a Mariners fan, but I follow the Yankees too, and this is absolutely disgraceful for the Yankees. You are completely correct.
I hardly agree.
Kevin Hilder says, firing Boone and keeping Cashman will not accomplish anything. Get rid of both, hire Theo Epstein as GM, and rehire Joe Girardi as manager. I don't think they want Girardi back, but I like Girardi. I like him. If Cashman does leave, then all options are on the table, but I don't think Cashman is going to resign, and I certainly don't think that Hal is going to fire him. When I think about how I would do it, I would get a manager like Joe Madden and go with the youth movement next year. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick preview of what I've been thinking about doing as I rebuild the Yankees in my mind next season. So I'm just going to walk you through this. So I need more lefties in the lineup next year. So I got Wells at catcher. You got to bring Rizzo back because he's under contract, and you just got to hope that he's better from the concussion. Murakami probably won't hit the market this winter, but probably after next season, maybe the season after that. But Rizzo's in there again next year. I think the Yankees are going to bring Torres back. I think I would probably bring him back too, just because he's been one of your more consistent hitters this year. He is hitting 269, 778 OPS, leads second baseman in home runs. Third baseman next year would be Oswald Peraza. Shortstop, again, Volpe. Left field, Pereira, but then there's also Hoy, I think his name is Hoy Jun Lee. He's a outfielder from Korea. We talked about him on Friday night. Bellinger in center field instead of Bader. I would pay for Bellinger. Judge in right field. And now to preface this, and this will be part of the whole, intro, to my blueprint. You're going to have to make some subtractions to do what I want to do next, and it's not going to be cheap. I think you got to find a way to subtract DJ LeMahieu's contract, to subtract as much of Giancarlo's contract as you can. I'd sign Ohtani. Empty the bank account for Ohtani. He's going to make you a ton of money. So we know that the Yankees like making money. Don't know if he'll come to New York, but the Yankees can write him a big check. That gets you an unbelievable DH, and it gets you another pitcher. Then your rotation becomes Cole, Ohtani, Rodon, and then I would sign somebody like a Michael Lorenzen, and then Cortez is your number 5 guy. You hope that he recovers from his shoulder problems. And then you've got, 3 or 4 good lefties on any given day in the lineup. So I'm still kind of working it out, hashing it out, but that video will be coming after the season. So, yeah, Joe Madden, I think, would be my guy. I think he would be the guy to work with the younger players. I like Epstein as a GM. Don't know if the Yankees will go that direction. Don't know if he wants to be a GM again. He's already won 2 World Series as a GM. Right now, he's serving as a consultant. I'd imagine he spends most of his days just hanging around, doing leisure stuff, spending time with the family, and then just consults with MLB when needed. Take a look at the box score, this horrible box score today. Box score brought to you by Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the world for a reason. Download the Game Time app to your phone or smart device, or visit gametime.co to get last-minute tickets to all your favorite types of events, baseball, other sports, football coming up, concerts, theater, comedy, you name it. You can find it on Game Time. Use the code NYY Recaps for $20 off of your first purchase. Game Time, lowest price on last-minute tickets, guaranteed. Pamela says, not just done with this team, but done with this whole organization. Yikes. So the Yankees did get 6 hits today, which is a lot for them. But you see, the story of the game can all be told on Clay Holmes' pitching line. A third of an inning, 3 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned runs. It is not what you want. And my stats just got really big on the screen for whatever reason. I will fix that tomorrow. So, yeah, tough day, tough day. Lou Rom says, blow it up and clean house. And then Gregorio says, we are the disgrace of all of baseball. It's tough. I mean, the Mets also, they're doing worse than us. They have a higher payroll. Chris says, this is the 3-game series that broke our back. I think it goes back to the Colorado series. I think when you lost 2 out of 3 to Colorado coming out of the break, that pretty much, killed the Yankees' chances. Anyway. Armando says Madden or Sosha and bring in Theo. I do like Theo. I don't know if it'll happen. Rosie 1 Billion says the best move is to hire Donnie Baseball to manage. I think Donnie's ready to win as a manager, and I would give him a shot. Punjab says, can the Yankees sweep the Braves? Don't think so. Don't think so. I'd be surprised the Yankees get 1 game against the Braves. I think you should all mentally prepare yourself for 3 games of a total annihilation. I'm not talking losing 2-1, 3-1. I think the Yankees might get a couple of touchdowns scored on them over the next few days. First of all, the Braves have an unbelievable offense. They just put up 21 runs in a game yesterday against the Mets. Everybody plays pretty much every day, and they are red hot. Everybody's swinging the bat well right now. So don't be surprised if they torch the Yankees over the next few days. Val says, R.I.P. to the Yankees. Stack says, when is the last time you saw the Yankees win a game like this? I can't remember them coming back big. I mean, maybe the game last year where Judge hit his 60th home run against the Pirates and then Giancarlo walked it off with a grand slam. I feel like that was the last time that the Yankees had one of those games where they, came from way back late. Raiden Burr says clown show. And Robert DeMarco says this game made me sick. DG says, when Hal hears about the game on Wednesday, maybe he'll wake up and make some moves. I mean, what moves are there to make? We have to understand the moves to make were years ago. Matt Olson has 42 home runs and 100-plus RBIs. I don't think there was anybody out there who wanted Matt Olson more than I did. I was out here every day saying, get Matt Olson. He's the guy. He's the perfect guy. You could see with that swing he was going to get better. And in Yankee Stadium, talking 60 home runs. All right, you pass on him because you don't want to give up the prospects. Well, maybe you sign Corey Seager. Corey Seager's hitting .350 with 20 home runs. And then, that means you block Volpe. But then Volpe maybe goes to second. And then maybe you move Glaber and, get an actual closer. Who the hell knows? The entire butterfly effect of moves would have been different if they had made some of the frickin' obvious moves. Sign Bryce Harper. We say that every week. Sign Harper. Dustin Klopper says, worst mistake from Boone is that he played IKF. His pitching performance needs to be needed, especially on Tuesday. Sevy is pitching. I mean, what are we going to do with Severino? That's another guy that just completely lost it. Michael Kay had an excellent point the other day where he said that, perhaps Boone needs to try something different. Perhaps he needs to try embarrassing these guys because they're not responding to whatever positivity, to whatever he is saying. They're not responding to it. C-Rad says Olsen might have been pushing for Atlanta. He is from the Atlanta area, but, I mean, you know, you push harder and you go get him. Wayne Wilcox says Holmes is not a closer. I think he's best as a middle relief guy. Ground ball guy, a sinker baller. Bring him in when you got a lead of 2 or 3 runs and you need somebody to get the 6th and 7th. Because he can do it probably pretty efficiently. Just throw the sinker. Today, in a game we absolutely needed, had nothing. Had nothing.
Game over, man. Game over.
I gotta get out of here.
Marcus says, did you see the Wander stuff? I did not. Let me Google it.
You gotta go.
So it sounds like he was not playing on Sunday. He was out of the lineup. Doesn't say why. Went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts during Tampa Bay's loss on Saturday. I know he's been benched a couple of times this season for, you know, not hustling and for showing his frustration. Apparently he's had some clubhouse issues. He's still got 10 years or something under contract. So, you know, that's going to be a story to keep your eye on. Take a few more comments here. We got 900 upset Yankee fans in the chat. The Worldwide Show says, it's going to be hell when we play the Braves. We needed to win as Holmes just choked. Choked is a good word to use. Today was an absolute choke job. Absolute choke job. Lori C says, Wander Franco is a disgraceful slob. He does seem like he's a little bit aloof for somebody who's still a young player. That's the danger in paying a young player who's, you know, I think he was 20 years old when he got his contract. I mean, imagine having $100 million guaranteed dollars when you're 22. Of course you're going to walk around like you're the shit. And he's a good player. Sounds like he needs to mature a little bit. But, you know, men mature slowly, especially when they have a lot of money. And they have no reason to mature. Hyper Beast J says, just when you thought we hit rock bottom, there is no bottom to this team. Bottom is a black hole, which is sucking in everything in its gravity, including light, including our sense of mind, including our hope for this season. Dustin says, and we just watched the game with his new girlfriend. Please take her shopping, Clay. Otherwise, I have to sleep on the couch. I don't get it, but appreciate the dono. My wife doesn't watch baseball. I wish she did, but she's not into it. She watches a lot of that British stuff. You know, Downton Abbey and I don't know, all the stuff about the royal family and all that. So I wish she was into baseball, but maybe someday. All right, guys. Sorry, no rant today. I just don't have it in me in this team. We're beyond ranting at this point. We've gotten into just pure emotional damage at this point. So say it with me.
Emotional damage.
Don't fail me again.
I'll see you guys when I see you.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.